Hello, everyone, and now welcome to Game 3 in this series. Why does that always happen? Game 3 in this series between Strelok and Mana here on Ohana. Strelok spawning as the blue Terran player on the top left-hand side of the map. Meanwhile, Mana spawning as the red Protoss player on the bottom right-hand side of the map. And so far, the games have been good. That's all I'll say about them. We are tied up at 1 game apiece. I guess I said a little bit more technically, but you guys got to know in this series what's going to be happening here. Now, I don't know what this is a best of. The site that I downloaded was in Russian, and as bad as my Chinese is, my Russian is worse. Now, Ohana, a map that I don't really get to study that many Terran versus Protoss. I normally see a lot of Protoss versus Zerg and Terran versus Zerg, so I want to see how the professional players build on this specific map. It looks like Strelok will be going for that barracks, and he may be once again going for that one Rax expand. There is that very, very tight choking ramp right here where one bunker can easily, or 2 bunkers can easily shut down any units that try to make their way up. There is, however, this backdoor entrance here with destructible rocks, and if these rocks are taken down, you are forced to defend another ramp, and anytime where you're forced to split your units between 2 locations, it can potentially be a problem. Mana this time around not going for the quick expansion, instead going for the much more traditional assimilator build. We should be seeing another pylon now in just a moment, and after that pylon, a cybernetics core. Wait, is that second pylon already done? No, he is actually going for... Wait, where's the other pylon? All right, back over here. Okay, I was gonna say, yeah, that would be a weird time to be supply blocking yourself. That doesn't seem like the most efficient build. Strelok is, however, going for a faster gas. So Strelok is actually teching up a little bit more quickly, and it's going to be up to Mana to figure out what Strelok is doing. I think this is the first time I actually saw a fast gas coming in from Strelok in this series. So Mana may not know what's in store for him. All right. SCV taken 2 points of damage there, so a great stutter step slide by that probe, as we are going to have 1 zealot here. That's an important amount of damage that this one SCV took, as I believe this one zealot, down to 11 hit points. He is not going to be able to finish it. There's the chrono boost on the stalker, and that SCV will just be able to live and scout at least for another 5-7 seconds. He's going to wander around the back and pretty much say, okay, I know where you can build all of your tech so far. What can I do next? 2 shots to finish off the SCV. There it goes, as the command center has been placed down by Strelok. Still no Nexus coming in from Mana yet, but I spoke too soon, as there is that warp in. Zealot Stalker now sitting at the low ground, or at the natural expansion. Meanwhile, 1 Marauder sitting here, and both players are not going to be attacking anytime soon. You can see Strelok is opting to build additional barracks. He got a faster gas, but that faster gas was just for a tech lab and perhaps to start stim a bit early. With this, he's going to be able to train up a lot of Marines and Marauders, and perhaps he's just going to go out with a cautionary force sometime around the 9-minute mark. Not an all-in attack. This is more of like, I'm going to stroll through the woods, and if I come across a victory, that's great, but what I really need to do is I need to scout out and figure out what my opponent is doing. You can see here that there is now just a bunker being established. Meanwhile, coming back down over here, Mana is nearing completion on his Nexus, but the orbital command is going to actually finish off before Mana gets up his Nexus. Now, we are still running on 2 bases for each of these players. 24 SCVs versus 27 probes. Robotics facility now being added as well, as we see Mana going into 3 warp gate with 1 robotics facility, and I gotta believe an observer will be trained first. Zealot now sitting down there at the low ground, still waiting to see what's going to be happening. We can see a factory is being added on. We could perhaps see a reactor and a starport come into play. And Strelok is actually investing very heavily into Marines. Now that potentially could be a problem. A very, very heavy investment in Marines means that those Marines are essentially glass cannons, and Colossi are extremely efficient at taking down multiple Marines in one blow. Mana now with a proxy pylon on the far side of the field. Is this probe going to be able to get away? Yes, he will. As the Marauder, nope, the Marauder is stimming, so that Marauder does get all the shots off needed in order to take down that probe. You can see a group of Marines and Marauders here coming at about the 8-minute mark. This is that cautionary mark cautionary moment that I expected Strelok to attack. But he does not know what he's going up against. Zealots, Stalkers, Sentries. If the Marauders and the Marines simply just try to come up, they are going to get force field in and then just get torn apart. Meanwhile, the Marines are still backing away here, standing underneath the sight of Mousesports' observer, as we now see Marauders and Marines looking for perhaps any proxy pylons here. A little bit of a lucky break by Strelok, as he will find a proxy pylon on the far side of the map, a free 100 resources taken away from his opponent. Stalkers, Sentries, Zealots looking to clear out this point here. Strelok still sitting on inside his base. We can see that we are now running up on 3 gas, but Strelok is not taking this opportunity to really train up any more SCVs. It feels as though he feels 40 SCVs is enough. Meanwhile, we are still seeing more probes coming out from Mana. Colossus now already on the field. Combat shield, level weapons upgrade coming in. Transitioning already into Vikings by Strelok, so perhaps he noticed that there was a Colossus on the field somewhere, or just took an educated guess after seeing or noticing the flicker of an observer, as both sides are still trying to figure out what the opponent is doing. Harvester count is now seen at 49 to 40. Mules really helping out in the long run, as we see Marauders, Marines, and Medevacs looking to poise themselves to tear down this front door. Zealots are in position. There is an Immortal and the Colossus. 2 Colossi now. The Colossi do not have extended thermal lance range, and it doesn't look like they will anytime soon. One factory keeping track of this expansion location, wanting to make sure that there is absolutely nothing there, as he may try to retreat once more. The Marines are backing off. Does this one Marine spot that probe? I do not believe he does, and that probe is just going to continue to wander there for quite some time. Observer now following in the footsteps of Marines and Marauders, wanting to figure out where they're going. As they are still just highly grouped together. The scanner sweep does reveal the observer, and now we are able to make a move. Marauders and Marines are making a move out. We see 106 to 133. Is Mana going to be able to pull off a miracle again? That is the question, especially without extended thermal lance range. He has a much better unit composition this time, but unless he has good positioning, it is not going to matter much. We saw how that was the case in game 2, or in game 2, as the Marines and Marauders are now coming around the far side. Vikings now maybe trying to come in as well. Are they going to be able to do any damage? One Zealot does get taken down. The factory is now being forced to pull away and hide itself on the high ground here. Observers, here we have it. There's some force fields. Vikings now desperately trying to look in. Colossus fighting in on the downside of the field, as the Vikings are now just going to town on all of those Colossus. One Colossus does get taken down. More Marines are now making their way over. More Stalkers are getting taken down as well. This is not looking good at all, as the Sentries are just trying to hunt down the Vikings before the Vikings can hunt down... before the Colossus can hunt down any more bio units. Alright, it looks as though, yes, Strelok is going to be taking this game in a very easy fashion. Oh, wait, no. Oh, Psystorm. How much damage did that do? Let's take a look at it. 5,000, 6,000 versus 3,200. A Nexus has been lost now, but still 40 supply versus 114. And Mana is forced to say GG as Strelok goes up in the series 2-1.